G'day Bomber fans, we've got a late Monday upload for you, a late Tuesday upload, sorry, because there's some news to discuss in regards to training. That's all that's really going on right now at the club pretty much, but there is quite a bit of interesting little news bites floating around and getting Bomber fans keen for 2025. We've got some new recruits looking at home, some possible round 1 debutants, some injury news, and also an unlisted player that stole the spotlight today on Tuesday, the somethings of December. I don't know the date, I'm sorry. So let's get into it. Quick training update to get through. We even have a little preseason fixture update as well at the end of the video. And make sure you suss out some of the comments of this video because I know at least one of you was at training today. Men Without Plan should give us more insight into this and the club as a whole because it's not always easy to find information this time of the year. I also suggest you go onto Blue Sky and give some other Essendon influencers a follow. Comment down below if you want to find out which ones are the best ones to get information from. That is the best place to get Bomber-related news from at the moment. But let's get into this video. Alright, so over the weekend we had some lengthier match sim work done, which is where you really notice players and their ability. This was on Saturday, and it was about an hour-long match, pretty much, with AFL umpires and the same rules. Often this early match sim is shorter and gets stopped for coaches to discuss as well. It's very lax this early. You see it ramp up a lot more after New Year's, but there were some promising signs according to those in attendance. It seems like Lamont Lual was a popular favourite amongst viewers. He's been playing on the wing a fair bit, and he was in the action on Saturday, which is good, because his start to life at Essendon hasn't been smooth sailing, but if he can start to impress and push for a game day spot, the team's in a good place or a better place. Peter Wright was also up and about. He kicked a few goals and was showing off some strong marking. Nate Caddy was a massive highlight for the fans. He wasn't as involved in others, but when he was, it was apparently super exciting. There's no vision, but there was apparently another specky taken. He loves his pre-season speckies. Some other notable players were Vigo Vicentini, Jackson Pryor, and SSP hopeful Will Hoare. It seems to be a bit of a battle for that last list spot forming with Hoare and Baldwin, who I'll talk about a bit later. This match sim doesn't mean heaps in the grand scheme of things, so don't take this as a sign for Lual or Wright or Vigo to be stars next year. If they're doing this in January or February of 2025, then we really take notice, but yeah, it's good to have a little bit of a platform as we head into the new year, because training will end soon for 2024, so these last little match sim drills will come in handy. We had some more match sim on Tuesday, today when I'm filming, and that one got more coverage thanks to some Fox Footy reporting. I'm going to get to the main bit of discussion in a second. We're first just going to highlight some things to note from the day. Well, the match sim was short. It was quite short. It was a long session with some limited match sim minutes, but you had guys like Saad El Hawley and Jackson Pryor in the back line looking good. It seems they're two potential bolters into that first team. El Hawley is one of the most talked about players this pre-season. Fans who come up to training have been left excited every time they see him out on the track, so he's one definitely to watch. While Isaac Kako is still impressing as well in patches, although he is off to the side with other draftees and some drills as well. That is all about managing workloads, though. You see older guys do the same. Goldstein's not going to be doing the amount of running that Nick Martin does in a training drill, so this match sim was kind of thrown in with some contest work and some goal kicking. I don't think this will be the last match sim of 2024, but it wasn't really a notable one anyway. It'll probably be something that doesn't warrant a video usually, but one player in particular kind of forced me to do it, so we got to talk about Kaine Baldwin. Yeah, so right now there is a battle for that final list spot forming between Will Hoare, who was our VFL defender last year, and Kaine Baldwin, who's been delisted at the end of 2024. Hoare has impressed this off-season, but Baldwin said hold my beer on Tuesday and apparently looked incredible. Will Faulkner from Fox Footy spoke at length about him. He said that he looked in impeccable nick, which is really interesting because he just last week was sitting out of training and drills with a little niggle, it seemed, maybe his ankle or foot again. But if Baldwin is looking good, that is great. You guys know I'm not sold on Baldwin, but it will be easier to convince me that he deserves a spot if he keeps impressing, and so far that's what he's doing. He obviously needs to stay fit and keep doing what he's doing if he wants that second or third chance, but the signs are good early. It should also be noted that in Media Day on Saturday, Xavier Duursma was asked to list the hardest working players at the club, and he said Elijah Sartas, Nick Martin, and Kaine Baldwin, who's not even technically at the club, so he must be doing a lot if he's getting talked about without being on the list. So yeah, interesting little turn of events, because a few of us were thinking that he was on the out a week or two ago, but it's changed fast and he is now training really hard for that last spot on the list. Some injury news. Xavier Duursma has had a tiny little hamstring setback. I'm not sure on the severity yet. It's always tough to tell this early on, but it occurred on Saturday and he was doing some light running today on Tuesday. That means, at least it means it's not a grade 3 or probably not even a grade 2, so at worst it's probably only a 2 to 3 week injury, but it could also just just be tightness. These injuries are things that you might not even notice during a season. It could be something that he would be able to play through, but the risk might not just be worth it now. So who really knows on the severity of that injury. Paris was also doing some running, and Jai Menzies does still have that fluoro cap on. His shoulder was... he's had that surgery over the off-season, but he can freely move and run and even join in most drills, but the fluoro cap means no contact, so teammates don't tackle him to the ground and ruin the progress with that rehab. He's looking in good touch though. Goldstein and Mackay have been in and out of training a bit. That's probably just managing workloads. Mackay's ankle is recovering fine, it seems. Same with Parrish, I think. Those ones aren't really anything to worry about. If all goes according to plan, everyone I mentioned should be in training come January 1st next year, with a question mark on Duursma. That's the iffy one. The only bit of serious injury news we have is Jai Caldwell and that hip. I don't know the return date for that one, but he is off to the side and not really able to do too much compared to his teammates. I saw someone say February as a return to full training, which would be pretty worrying because it would mean that he misses almost a full pre-season, but we'll see, I guess. Hopefully that is wrong or I'm misremembering. Right now, injury news is hard to find, but that's a good thing. We only really have one player in doubt for round one, and even he is far ahead of other injured players from other teams, so we're in a good, healthy place right now as a squad, touchwood obviously. Some fixture news: we have our practice and pre-season games announced, so we start by facing the Western Bulldogs midway through February. The dates and location haven't been confirmed for the unofficial practice games, but it will be anywhere from the 15th of February to the 22nd. I think we can assume it'll be the 15th, 16th or 17th to give the boys time to recover for the next game, because the week after we play our Amy community game against Geelong at GMHBA Stadium. This is great. It gives us a chance to run around on that slimmer deck, and it's important because we travel out there during the 2025 season, so it's good to get a few of the boys familiar with the deck. And now that game is on the 25th of February at 7:10 Victorian time. That is prime Tuesday night footy. Brings us back to the 2020 season when you had games being played midweek. But yeah, that's our pre-season fixture almost fully sorted. We stay in Victoria and play two teams who should be pretty good, and that's ideal. You want to be playing the good teams early to get some experience and exposure for younger players. So I'm happy with this. Hopefully we see our young team show some promise early. And also it should be noted that our most recent match sim was actually played on a smaller ground with cones used to bring in the boundary. So maybe that's a little reason as to why, because we are obviously heading out to GMHBA in February. And that is that. Quick training update. I'm keen to hear what you guys think. Cheers for watching. Cheers to Men Without Plans for giving me some reasons to post this as well. That's all though. Like, subscribe, and go Bombers.